Hey everyone, I'm going to make a super cute purse for girls and I'm going to embroider it with a Disney design using the Brother Dream Machine. I'm upcycling a pair of jeans for this project. You'll also need fabric scissors, embroidery thread, embroidery bobbin thread, an embroidery hoop, and stabilizer. Choose a stabilizer that is slightly lighter in weight than your fabric. You'll also need the embroidery foot that comes with your sewing machine, a pair of embroidery scissors or snips, and regular thread for sewing your bag together. Start by cutting up the inner seam of the jeans. Go up one leg and all the way around through the crotch, continuing down the other leg. Flip your jeans over and cut up the center back seam so that the jeans lay open flat. Next, cut the seam edge of the jeans off, including the seam allowance. Set this aside. It will become the strap for your bag. Cut a long rectangle out of the jeans. Mine measures 17 inches by 7 inches, which is 43 by 18 centimeters, but you can adjust your size as you'd like. Next, you'll want to determine the placement of your design. Fold up your fabric 5 inches or 13 centimeters, which will become the inside of the bag. This leaves me with 7 inches or 18 centimeters for my top flap, which I want longer than the bag because the excess fabric will become my fringe. Because I want my design centered on the bag front, excluding the dangling fringe, I'm going to measure to find the midpoint of my bag, which is 3.5 inches from the side and 2.5 inches from the top. Create a plus sign to mark this. I'm using tailor's chalk, which will disappear in the wash. To hoop your fabric and stabilizer, loosen the screw on your embroidery hoop and remove the center. Next, cut your stabilizer larger than your hoop by about 2 inches or 5 centimeters all the way around. Choose the smallest hoop possible for the size of your design. This will eliminate wasted stabilizer and will make hooping your fabric easier. I'm using my 4x4 hoop. Pay attention to the arrow on your hoop. It shows you the direction it needs to be inserted into the machine, so this will be the top of the hoop. Lay down your stabilizer and place your fabric on top, remembering which way you want your design to face. Insert your inner hoop, tighten the screw, and pull the edges of your fabric to ensure it's taut. Once your embroidery thread and embroidery bobbin thread are loaded into the machine, change your presser foot to the embroidery foot. Don't forget to plug it into the back of your machine as well. Slide your hoop into the machine carriage unit in the direction of the arrow and lock it in using this lever. From the home screen, select Disney and choose a design you like. Let's start with something simple like this Minnie Mouse name. On the screen, you will see the size of the design, the stitch count, the time it will take the design to stitch, and the number of color changes there are. You will also see the recommended thread color here, and more would be listed if the design had more colors. Now you click Set, which will take you to this screen. Here you can edit the design, resize it, rotate it, and reposition it. The default position is centered in the hoop, which is where I'll be keeping it. When you're done, click Embroidery. On this screen, if you click this box and click it again, the machine will show you an outline of the outer edge of your design. This way you can be certain of the design placement before you begin to stitch. You can also use these individual buttons to point out the corners and outside edges of your design. Once you're ready, press this button to lower the presser foot. The arrow will turn green and your machine is ready to embroider. While you're embroidering, the cursor will move on screen to show you your current position in the design, and you will see your stitch count going up. Once your design is complete, the machine will automatically cut the thread and raise the presser foot. All that's left to do is lift the lever and remove the hoop from the carriage. After taking your fabric out of the embroidery hoop, make sure you cut your jump stitches. Trim your stabilizer close to your design to eliminate bulk, making sure you don't get so close that you accidentally cut your stitches. Now let's make this purse. First, finish the short, raw edge on the opposite end from your embroidery design. Turn under a seam allowance, 5/8 of an inch or 1.5 centimeters, and stitch that in place. Make sure you change back to your regular presser foot. From the sewing screen on your Dream Machine, choose the stitch that you want to use. I want to sew a zigzag and I'll increase the width a bit. Because I'll be fringing the bag, I want to play up the distressed look. So I'm sewing everything with either a zigzag or an overedge zigzag in a fun contrast color. Next, turn up the bottom of the bag by that 5 inches or 13 centimeter measurement we started with, and finish the long raw edges of the bag from the top to the bottom, sewing through both thicknesses. You can either leave the strap as is or do an overedge zigzag finish on it as well. To attach the straps, tuck each end behind the bag. You'll do a zigzag through all thicknesses without catching the top flap to hold the strap in place. I did 2 rows of zigzag stitching on both sides. Now that the straps are attached, fringe the bottom of the bag by cutting vertically with your fabric scissors. To distress the fringes even further, slide your scissors across them individually or run your hands through them repeatedly. And here it is. This project is adorable and easy to make. Feel free to tag me in the next project you make with your Brother Dream Machine. I'd love to see what you're working on.